make a girl a promise. If you know you can't keep it. They let me pick. Did I ever tell you that? Choose whichever Spartan I wanted. You know me. I did my research, watched as you became the soldier we needed you to be. Like the others, you were strong and swift and brave. A natural leader.
Welcome, everybody, to the Xbox Series podcast. Even Lethal Migraine, who is telling me that I need to step aside and let my kids run the show in future. Lethal Migraine, I don't entirely disagree with you, so you're all right. We're still on good terms. Last week, Gamzly did an adequate job of introducing the show. This week it's Deadly Headley's turn. He doesn't know this. Fire away, Deadly Headley.
What's up, everybody? My name's Sadly Headley, and welcome to the Xbox Series podcast. I'm just here to show how much of a fucked it. How much a Gamzly is introducing a show. Anyway, over to you, Asa.
Wow,
You know,
you even butchered your own name. Your name's Gamzly, remember?
It started so strong,
Yeah, sorry,
and then the pressure of the moment just it came a little bit unstuck. But that's all right. We all understand. We've got some things to talk about this week. We've had a little bit of sampling of the Amazon Fire Stick Xbox experience and other bits and pieces like that. Played some games, or at least these two have. I've been really friggin' busy doing new and exciting things. But let's go straight into... well, shut your face. That's a reasonable question. That's a reasonable question. Gamzly, tell everyone how you've been and what you... Yeah, just how you've been, actually. That's enough, isn't it? How you been?
I've been okay. You know what? Except for the, accident with my coffee this morning. For those who aren't in the Discord, I spilt a whole cup of coffee, smoldering hot, on my 4080 laptop. All right?
Oh, you bellend.
All over. And the warranty, I got it, like halfway through last year. So, yeah, it's gone. It's just gone. So now I have to send it in repair and front the bill on that baby. I'm very sad. I had all these plans to play some games this morning and all that stuff. But, yeah, that happened. But besides that, yeah, do you have a question, Asa, about my terrible morning?
I do have a little question, because you mentioned that it was out of warranty. So I'm just wondering, like, if it was within warranty, were you just going to send it off and hope they didn't notice the coffee?
Well, I believe the extended or extra subscription, because it's a Razer laptop. The subscription, I believe it's a subscription, so it's like Apple Care. So if you get that, they kind of fix it for you for way less than it's supposed to be. But I'm an idiot and I didn't do that.
Tony says, is it me or does Gamzly sound weird? Tony, I mean, the answer is clearly yes, but it has been like 23, 24 episodes of it. Do you mean that he sounds different to every other week? If other people are having issues with Gamzly's audio, then we'll look into it. For me...
Yeah, please tell me.
I don't know.
I had to resub my whole... My setup was on my other laptop.
His gain's a little bit high.
Is it?
Yeah, you're quite gainy.
Hold on, let's see. How about now?
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Yeah, so everything was set up on my laptop correctly. So excuse me if I have to reset up everything, but yeah. Besides the coffee and all that stuff, the movie was awesome. Blaze, I see you in here. Blaze, you suck.
Well, that shit, Blaze.
Anyways, don't come at me. So yeah, you know what? I've been watching a lot of stuff lately. Have you guys haven't caught up on House of Dragons, have you? You haven't done the Game of Thrones thing,
I've
right?
watched one episode of it yesterday, I think. Or the day before.
Which
I don't
one?
know,
Is it
recently.
the start?
Of season 2. One episode of season. No, I just pick them at random. I'm like, I'm going to watch episode 5 this time and I'll watch episode 2 next time. Like, whatever. Yes,
You think you're
Gamzly, I
fucking
watch
funny,
things
yeah?
from the start.
Thing is, we
That
actually
wasn't the
can't
actual
put you
question.
past doing that. That's the thing.
No. I was asking, oh, are you all caught up? Blah blah blah. You know, are you on episode 3, 4, 2? But no, it seems like you're just starting. So how did you like the first episode?
I
Careful with
didn't.
spoilers, by the way, because I'm avoiding season 2 until it's finished.
No, I'm not. No spoilers, obviously. But
Okay.
how are you liking it, Asa?
So my biggest issue with it so far is that I didn't massively find season 1 that engrossing. So when season 2 has started off, I'm watching it going, oh, I remember not really caring about any of you. And that's kind of continued on, but it might pick up as it goes along. Yeah, really. Really.
You don't care about any of them?
No, I initially forgot who was fighting against who and why. And yeah, no, it doesn't do what Game of Thrones did for me. And I'm not just talking about like the drastic reduction of nudity. That's fine. I can handle that. I can watch it for the plot, but the plot is just nowhere near as surprising.
Interesting. I'm in love with I love it. I love it so much. I love the drama. It's just this family drama, basically. I'm in for it. Wow, I'm shocked. Actually, I'm really shocked. I actually like it more than some of the Game of Thrones seasons, to be quite honest. And this one started off really strong for me, considering I did care about the people last season. But yeah, enough about the TV shows. I'm enjoying that, and yeah, take my mind away from the destruction of my beautiful, beautiful little boy laptop I got over here. So, anyways, let's pass it on to Deadly. How you enjoying Ellie?
I am
Us.
actually watching Lost. I'm not playing The Last of Us or watching The Last of Us. I am still watching Lost. I'm on the final season. You know what? I think it holds up. I'm actually enjoying it a lot more than I remember enjoying it the last time I tried to rewatch it, which was probably 10 odd years ago. And then the time I saw that was when it had come out. I don't know. I guess it finished about 15 years ago. I don't know. Something like that. I don't know timings. I can say that I am enjoying it, and I'm nearly finished with it. That may change after the actual finale, because I remember being really pissed off with how the finale ended. But Gamzly, I like tell your face to respond differently, because I am what I am, bro. I'm having a good time with Lost.
It was that statement of it aged pretty well, and it shocked me. It caught
I think
me
it's
off
aged
guard.
alright. Yeah, it's definitely aged well. I like as a series and as like a piece of production, it's aged very, very well. Yeah, that's what I've been watching. I know we don't usually run that segment, but for the last 3 weeks at least, that's kind of what we've been doing, because games have been a bit light and news is quiet.
Pretty quiet out there.
Yeah.
Except for the rumors. The rumors are all over the place, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They always are. I do like House of the Dragon a lot. I really like the first season. I loved most of Game of Thrones. I think I tend to agree with you that House of the Dragon might be a little bit stronger than Game of Thrones, but it's also, you know, you've got several seasons versus, for me, one season to compare. I need to subscribe to a service.
Correction,
Go
some Headley. Some seasons of Game of Thrones.
I was going to say definitely
seasons,
not all of them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
definitely.
Generally across the board, feel quite positive about Game of Thrones. Though, I'm waiting until it finishes airing, because I would need to subscribe to a service that I'm not subscribed to in order to watch House of the Dragon. So yeah, I'm just gonna. I haven't actually subbed to that service before, so I'll get a trial and then binge it. Because the last time I watched House of Dragon. Asa, you'll understand this better than Gamzly will. I had Sky when House of the Dragon was last out. I don't have Sky anymore, so I would have to subscribe to an LTV. Gamzly's cable and streaming.
What? Oh, is
You know
it?
what Sky is, right? You know what Sky is? Sky TV?
I mean, it's blue sometimes. Sometimes it rains.
No,
I
the
don't
other
know.
one.
Like,
The one on the
oh,
TV.
oh, did you? No, I have no idea what that is.
Okay,
But
fine.
let's go with it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it's a cable service that is really popular in the UK. I used to have it when House of Dragon was on. I don't have it anymore because we kind of just weren't using it, and I wanted to put more money into Game Pass and less money in the shitty cable. So here I am.
Oh yeah, well that's pretty awesome. So speaking of shitty cable and TV and all that stuff, you got the Fire Stick, haven't you? So we did impressions, or I did an
What a
impression
segue!
last week.
It was an
Yeah, you're welcome.
incredible segue.
Just go with it. Stop, stop interrupting it, damn it. We talked about it last week, but nobody cares about my opinion. Let me hear about your beautiful opinion and in your beautiful little voice. How you liking 4K Game Pass Fire Stick stuff? Tell me about it.
So,
Yeah, screw
I
you,
actually did care
Asa.
about your.
You
I
sit there
did care
and do
about your
nothing.
opinion. I thought that your opinion last week was really helpful because it set some expectations, and I tell you why that was helpful. Because my expectations were actually exceeded when I got round to playing it. I'm gonna get some caveats out of the way first. So we'll call this the what have I been playing because everything that I have played this week has been on cloud streaming, on the Fire Stick, as Gamzly alluded to. I played some Still Wakes the Deep, and I was really enjoying that. That worked really, really nicely on cloud because I think it sort of plays in a similar way to something like Firewatch does. Like, you don't need fast reactions, as far as I'm aware, yet. And if controls feel a little bit sort of floaty because of latency, yeah, it can feel a bit off, but you get used to it. And again, for something that's more kind of linear and story based, it's fine. We'll come back to Still Wakes the Deep because I haven't played much of it, but we can talk about that. I guess we'll do the cloud streaming experience first, and then go back to the games themselves.
Yeah, why not? Let's do this. The Gamzly's ordering of the show. We'll jig it around a bit. It's not a
problem. So, yeah, largely, I was really impressed with how easy it was to set up, especially as, I already had an account and all that sort of stuff. Obviously, linking a controller is really straightforward, and once your controller is paired, you can actually just turn the controller on, operate the Fire Stick itself with it, and launch the Xbox app that way. So you are looking at pointing your Fire Stick remote at your telly and pressing the on button, turning the Xbox controller on, and then navigating to the Xbox app. So in basically 4 clicks, you're ready to go and play a game, which is really, really impressive. It launches really quickly, and I'm impressed with that as well. To give you guys some context, I'm using a wireless connection at the moment, but I will be using a wired one at some point. I just wanted to see how it fared in a wireless environment first. My network speed, not my network speed, my download speed is 300 meg, but it usually tops out at about 360, 370. My upload is about anywhere between 30 and 40 meg. So nowhere near the same impressive upload speed as Gamzly. He was getting like 1 gig up, which just sounds wonderful.
It's crazy good. It's also
it's
also lucky for me because it's a business plan, so it's like super boosted. But yeah.
So largely, I played Still Wakes the Deep last night on that, and like I said, I really enjoyed it. I also tried Starfield because I wanted to try something with shooting and something that I thought might be a little bit more demanding, and I really didn't notice any difference in experience between when I was playing Still Wakes the Deep and when I was playing Starfield. Both actually performed adequately, with the caveat that you can feel that latency is there, but you do sort of get used to it. And if you've played on cloud gaming of any kind before, you'll know exactly what I mean by how that feels. It feels quite sort of floaty and glidey and just a bit off. Quick shout out to Mrs. Deadly, because she came upstairs to see what I was playing and see how it was going. Saw me playing Still Wakes the Deep, thought it looked cool, asked me what it was. I just said, oh, it's a horror game on an oil rig set in Scotland. And very quickly just sort of went, I'm quite impressed with this, but the controls feel a little bit weird. And tried to explain latency to her. She's not a techie person at all. If anything, she's a technophobe. So I wasn't expecting her to know what I meant by controller lag or controller input latency or input lag or anything like that. And she sort of tried playing with it, moved back and forward, went, oh yeah, it does feel weird. Is that because the oil rig is windy? And I just thought that was the most endearing thing. I loved it. It really made me smile. And I was like, you know what? Technically, latency is kind of like digital wind. That's really the best way I can put it. It just feels ever so slightly off. As in, you're like, so the input, your input on the controller when you're cloud streaming almost feels like it's got like a speed ramp to it. So everything just sort of takes a little lapse, a little moment to just sort of speed up and get to the thing that you're doing. And the same when you're slowing down as well. Like it just sort of a little bit lazy, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it largely my experience has been really impressive. Where it fell massively flat, and again, really enjoyed my time playing Starfield. I didn't play it for very long. I actually wanted to find combat, but actually if you've spent a great deal of time in Starfield, you know that unless you go and start trouble, combat isn't really on demand. I did end up starting some trouble and had a little bit of fun, so causing a bit of chaos in New Atlantis. And yeah, combat felt okay. Again, not amazing, nowhere nearly as good as native, but definitely playable, and playable for a good few hours. Again, like I was playing for about 2-3 hours last night. Halo MCC, I played a multiplayer game about half an hour before coming on the show. I can't recommend that. To paint a scene, I jumped into Halo MCC. I picked any multiplayer match that I could find ASAP, and I got a 4v4 BR Slayer on High Ground on Halo 3. Great map, great modes, great weapon, good to go. And chat, anyone who has played Halo with me, Asa, here's the part where you guys throw me under the bus and go, no, he sucks, but like, it's known that I can hold my own in Halo when I need to. Can you guess how many deaths I got?
You know what? I'm gonna go with 15 deaths and 1 kill, kind of like Asa's League of Legends stat. Oh,
It
15
was
deaths? Okay.
more like 21 deaths and 5 kills.
Do you know what I don't get
cannot
here?
recommend
Through all of
multiplayer
that
on
like
cloud streaming.
expectation that we'd throw you under the bus, and I was like, I'm going to be really nice to Deadly Headley, and then somehow I got thrown under the bus by Gamzly. Thanks for that, Gamzly. Carry on, Deadly Headley.
You're welcome. You deserve it.
Yes, that's true.
So and you know, it's embarrassing as an OG Halo player of more than 20 years. Going 5 to 21 on Halo 3 was not a high moment for me. Obviously, largely I'm going to blame input lag. It felt awful. I cannot recommend that.
But
Go on.
do you agree with me? Do you agree with me that one day when they figure out how the hell all this works and everybody could play it pretty seamlessly, or has, you know, good enough internet to play it seamlessly, don't you agree that it's super cool that you just plug this little thing inside your little
Yeah,
hole?
man, it blew my mind.
And
I
then-
was really, really impressed with how easy it was, how fluid it was. Like it just worked. It just did the thing, and it did it adequately for my expectations. A couple other things that I will say. I was on a 1080p 32-inch TV sitting about 10 to 12 feet away, so I wasn't expecting something beautiful and crisp. I wasn't looking at this on a 70-inch 4K screen. Obviously, playing natively on a Series S, like I said on the show a couple of weeks ago, would be the better option for the thing that I'm trying to achieve in terms of being able to play Xbox somewhere else. But the thing that I love about it is there is no additional hardware required, exactly as it says on the thing. No console required. You can play Xbox games on a Fire Stick. They are playable, they are enjoyable, they are fun, but there are caveats like multiplayer sucking a lot. Don't do it. But single player is great.
Yeah, man, there's so much work to do, but
There is, for sure.
jumping to a question in chat too, because he said, shout out to a viewer in chat. Deadly, have you have tried GeForce Now yet? It's funny
No,
he
I
says that
haven't yet.
because they're making it much easier to access GeForce Now through the Game Pass app. I believe, is it the app, Asa,
No,
or is
it's
it
the
like
Xbox.com website. So if you're browsing Xbox's
there you
library
go.
on that website and you want to launch from browser, then it is now. This was kind of our second topic, and I don't want to go too much into it, but they're very, very much linked and intertwined. So if you're on Xbox.com, you play on your PC, you launch that browser, and you want to play a game straight from there, whereas previously you had the option to jump straight into an Xbox cloud streaming thing if you had a Game Pass Ultimate subscription. You now get the option to launch it to Game Pass Ultimate or to launch it straight to GeForce Now, which is an order of magnitude better than Xbox's own cloud streaming. And that service also works outside of Game Pass as well. So whereas the Game Pass Ultimate option is currently only available for games in the Game Pass subscription service, GeForce Now library is slightly different in that you can play games that you own so long as they are supported on that service, which is far from all of them, but it is a worthwhile handful. So yeah, things are changing with Xbox and their relationship with other cloud providers. What you were saying, Deadly Headley, about your experience with it, I was listening in and I was thinking back to what I've heard of Digital Foundry saying basically this service is a pile of shite. My own experiences of Xbox's cloud streaming, where I had last week said it's kind of a pile of shite unless you're playing on like a smaller screen and your expectation is kind of 1080p. And then you can probably have a pretty adequate time with it. And right at the end, you mentioned that is essentially what you're doing. You're playing on a 32-inch screen and you're a fair distance back. And for that environment, so anybody that's looking to play it in that situation, you've got a reasonable time in a lot of games. Obviously, you struggled with your Halo Infinite. You do need to understand, like Digital Foundry was saying, and this isn't like you specifically need to understand, but anyone that's considering this as like their way to play gaming, to play their Xbox games, it is the Xbox Series S version of a game. So if you've spent the last like 2 or 3 years going, Series S, that's not for me, the cloud streaming stick is probably not for you either. But there are an awful lot of people that are perfectly content with that kind of experience. So there are an awful lot of people that this thing will work for. We'll see.
I definitely wouldn't recommend it as your main way to play, but if it is your only way to play it and you really want to try out a game like Starfield and you don't have any other way of playing it, so you don't have a PC, you don't want to cloud stream to your phone for whatever reason because it's uncomfortable, you have a PlayStation, you've already got a Bluetooth controller, and you're just thinking about sampling games on another ecosystem, this is a really, really good way of getting in. The only asterisk that you have to bear in mind is that you can feel that latency. You know that it's there. If you can look past it and you can get used to it and you're not playing in a competitive environment, you'll enjoy yourself.
See,
The
there's a lot
only
of
other caveat that I want to add, and because I think this is a really important one as well, is I'm not sure a full price Game Pass Ultimate subscription is worth it. A cloud only tier for like £7.99, so $10 American would be brilliant. Like that would be a really good thing to offer. Because I don't, for £15 a month UK, obviously because pounds anyway, £15 a month, I need something that feels better than that, especially if I want to go and play multiplayer. Like it's not enjoyable on a Fire Stick.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? The caveats start to stack up the more you look closely to it, and then you're just like, why am I doing this? And that's like the conundrum they find themselves in at this moment. Like for the price, forcing people to have this thing for like 24.99 Canadian is a little much if you want to play on your only cloud, right? And you're buying a stick for that. I would steer right clear from this, to be honest. With more experience with it, more time with it from last week, they need, like you said, to really put down the price for a cloud only option. $7.99 is pretty good. $6.99, even
Well,
$5.99, man. $5.99 would
yeah.
I think that's the big sweet spot, especially considering like just how everything is set up with Xbox right now. Unlike
Mhm.
Nvidia has insane tech behind it right now, and we're running with Xboxes and the server blades. It's just so
Mhm.
it's such a lower standard. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm tending to
Yeah.
agree with the backlash on the full price thing at the moment.
I will say the
But
prices
as
that you're
someone
floating
who is
there, though,
already,
like those
as
prices,
someone
though,
who's
are
already in the
woefully
ecosystem
off.
with, go on,
So,
Asa, go on.
like if you're talking like $5.99, $6.99, $7.99, you got to consider these whatever they're offering. It's cloud streaming only, but in terms of licensing, it is all of the games within Game Pass. So there is no way they could push it down to anything like that. It's a very nice mug,
No.
Gamzly. GeForce Now is like it's comparable in price. If you get the good tier of GeForce Now, it's a far better service. It's like 20 quid a month, but that does not include a single game, right? They don't have the game licensing issue. You have to go and buy those, have Game Pass, whatever other means it is to actually get to the game itself. So I don't think, I agree that Game Pass Ultimate, the full bundle, paying for the console editions, paying for all this other stuff that you're not using is not the right move. But I don't think they can shave off as much of the price as you think.
No,
Yeah,
I'd
yeah,
agree with you because the cost of
that's
the
the
cloud infrastructure will pay into
yeah,
that as well.
that's the whole conundrum, right? It's really like people like this, it just isn't a good enough solid product as it stands right now, performance wise, okay? To justify anything higher than a $7.99 or $9.99 price tag. And that's the bad part. That's the part where they're gonna have a lot of um pushback on, right? Until they find a way, or until they upgrade the back end and they truly like go all in on it. I think this is a really weird in between for people that are buying the Fire Sticks, But
Mhm.
anyway, it's my opinion.
Yeah. But as someone who is already in that Xbox ecosystem, as someone who already has, the peripherals to pick up and play an Xbox game, I've already got Game Pass tied to my account, so I don't have to buy into anything on the Xbox side of things. The only thing I've had to do is upgrade my Fire Stick, which in a Prime Day sale cost me 40 quid. It's a really awesome supplementary experience for you to expand your existing Xbox platform at a very low cost without you needing to go and buy a new console. But yeah, as we've said on the show, you could pick it as your main way to play if you can push past the latency and only limit yourself to single player games with no twitchy shooting involved at all.
Yeah,
But it's quite a lot of money for quite a lot of sacrifice.
yeah, I think the only way that it would make any sense, I get it in chat, like some people are saying, $8, that's a lot of asking, like $8 for all that stuff. I'm asking for too much. I'm not asking for it. I'm just saying it it would that's what it would have to be right now for me to actually buy a stick for the service if I'm outside that service to be worth
Yeah.
it, and to plug it in the TV and say, "Oh, I like this. This is a good experience. I will not cancel my sub," and all that stuff. That's the
Yeah.
borderline kind of cost I would pay for the product at this moment, performing the way it is now. And I think they have to find a way around that. Um, Maybe something like a curated list, which would muddy the waters even more. So I highly suggest not doing it because there's already confusion. But a curated list of just some first party, or maybe
What
just some,
what if
only like remove first party and just finally activate um your game library to be streamable all the time anywhere.
what
I
if
think
Game
that would
Pass
also be
standard
pretty good.
is almost setting expectations to
Do
do
that.
that? So
Yeah.
basically a Game Pass cloud subscription
Yeah.
would give you the same content library as Game Pass Standard does, so it's not going to give you the day one stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, by doing that, you could wall off multiplayer access because you would need Game
Ugh.
Pass Core for that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you could still go and play free-to-play stuff like Fortnite, and again,
Mm,
I can you download Fortnite to the Fire Stick? I think you can.
I
I'd
haven't
be
tried.
interested to see how that plays, because if
I
that's
haven't
something
tried.
that sits on the Fire Stick rather than, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Um,
I'm
yeah.
not
Yeah, I
aware
don't
of it
know.
running things natively, but I've never looked at actually getting an Amazon Fire Stick. I did see, I saw they were on offer this week for the Amazon Prime Day, whatever they're doing. They did a little bundle for the Xbox Game Pass launch where it was like $80 to get an Xbox controller with the Fire Stick and like a month of Game Pass. That would have been
Yep.
tempting if I needed a controller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'd recommend that as well. Like, again, I'd recommend someone picking that up. I'd recommend someone sampling it and enjoying it. But it's, the point where it sort of falls short is
They
that full price Game Pass Ultimate on something like that with so many caveats, like we said.
they have a bundle right now. Asa, don't they have a bundle? Isn't Amazon selling a bundle with a controller and a Fire Stick or is that? Don't they have that?
You don't listen to me at all, do you, Gamzly? I don't blame you. That's absolutely what I was just talking about a moment ago. Yes,
Oh.
they do.
Oh, okay. Okay, no, I don't know if you were being sarcastic or not. I was like, isn't that a thing? You freaking robot. No, but yeah, that's it's a solid point. And again, I I know that it's almost impossible to get the price down. I know from a business standpoint. I'm just saying as a consumer that is buying this thing to plug in their TV and go, and you're probably not a person, maybe you're not a person that has insanely good internet, you're buying this for no reason. You're going to have a terrible experience for all of the reasons why Headley just said. It's like you're not going to be able to play half the genres, and you're just going to be playing like what, turn-based games and like whatever. And what if that's not your jam? What if you actually want to play Fortnite or whatever? It's like you're not going to be able to, and that's a hard pill to swallow if you buy that bundle and it's just like, barely working or half working. But yeah, and that's coming from a person that I don't care, right? I've never really cared about like I could play just like Headley. I could have a good time with like the lag and the latency and all that stuff. I can do that. But I'm starting to see within another like as I played more this week, it's a little bit annoying. And even for me, imagine the person that buys it for it, right? Or has an expectation of it. You want to have the first impression being very good because we know how hard it is when you don't come out, you know, both feet in the door and you just kind of half wiggle your way in. It's not good. It's not a good impression, but yeah.
R.L. Stein is yelling
Then
in chat about how good GeForce Now is, and I have to.
It is.
You don't need to yell, R.L. Stein. I agree with you. Have you used it much, Gamzly?
Yeah. My brother uses GeForce Now because he doesn't have a beast computer, and we love to play games together, as you all know. If you've been listening to us for weeks now, he uses GeForce Now often, and when we have like a get together and I go to his place, I use GeForce Now as well, depending if I wanted to bring my laptop. And now, guess what? I don't have a laptop, and usually we could both use it on the same network, which is crazy. So yeah,
Yeah,
interesting.
I've used it plenty. I did a video about it on this channel. I massively recommend that. I have a 4090 and a PC right here, and even I would be tempted to use GeForce Now just to help keep my room cool in the summer because the service is genuinely comparable in a lot of ways. It doesn't do everything, but it's really damn good and it's magic. Xbox game like the xCloud streaming has the drawbacks that you'd kind of logically expect from a cloud streaming service, and then you try GeForce Now and it's like, hang on, how are they doing this? They're defying every known like logical flaw with the service to give me. I can't even see compression going on in this image, let alone having a bad time playing games. So really, really, really impressive service if you do have an interest in cloud streaming there. So worth a try, I would say. But it sits in a strange place where it's like not quite got the quality of life and convenience of a console, not got the flexibility of a PC. So it's like a strange middle ground in that sense.
Yeah, like again, to answer the question again, in chat, if they're doing these deals, that is a strong move for a reason. But I'm I'm being critical of a thing. That's all I'm doing, and it's okay to be critical of a thing because I use it and I pay for it and I like it. So, I'm just giving some critical feedback to these guys, and we shouldn't have to rely on a other person's service to make xCloud better. It just doesn't. It's not what we're paying. Well, it kind of is what we're paying for, but not at the same time. It, it's not the thing. It doesn't look good for the company. But again, uh, yeah, that's the
It
Fire
will
Stick. Do we
it
have
will be
anything else on the
interesting
Fire
to
Stick?
see. It will be interesting to see whether or not Microsoft wants to pivot closer to that cloud direction or not. And I wouldn't be surprised
Mhm.
if some of it is sort of based on the uptick of stuff like this. But again, like Still H the Deep is really the game that I put the most amount of time into this week. All of it was on cloud. I did enjoy it. Like I was playing Still H the
Yep.
Deep. I can tell you what the first hour and a half, 2 hours of that game are like. Thanks to cloud. That in itself is a really impressive feat. But we'll see how it develops.
Mm-hmm.
That we
Anything
will.
else?
No, Gamzly, let's move backwards in time and talk about some games. What have you been
Excellent.
playing this week?
Okay. Hell yeah. Okay. So, like you know from the start of the episode, I destroyed my laptop. So my plan was to get Flintlock going and have a deeper connection to it past the demo, right? Because I downloaded on Steam. I had the first impressions on Steam like way long ago when it came out first there, right? So I had a quick impression of it on the demo. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick it up where I left off from the demo and play through more and go through all the bells and whistles of it. Didn't work out because I destroyed that and it was a local file. So that freaking sucks. Make sure you update to the cloud all the time. Don't be dumb like me. So I re-downloaded it and I just got back to where the demo stops. And I don't have many updated kind of thoughts on Flintlock. Flintlock, what I will echo is that it's fun. I love the traversal. I love the way it entices you to keep pushing forward against enemies. Like it does this clever thing where it's a Souls light game, right? You could kind of put it in the Souls category. When you engage a combat, you'll have this like combo meter that kind of stacks up, as you hit enemies and all that stuff. And if after every combat, if you redeem the, let's say, currency, well, you have a choice to redeem the currency and wipe out your meter. So wipe out your combo meter and redeem the currency, and then you could go spend the currency. But if you don't, and if you just kind of keep stacking combos and it acts as a multiplier of your currency if you keep it. So it's high risk, high reward kind of thing. But if you get killed in the middle of the combo, right? It's like all of that hard work is done, and you could lose like freaking hours of your modifier. So it's quite interesting. I like the spin that they did with gaining currency. It's called renown instead of like gold or whatever. So it's quite cool there. It's much easier. As I said, it's a Souls like, so you could go through that. You could go through it and actually have a blast. It's very flashy. The environments are awesome. The story is the most appealing part to it, though, for me. I think it gets a little stale. Like even in the demo, man, even in that section, it kind of gets a little stale. I haven't unlocked. Obviously, you don't unlock much there, but as of right now, it's kind of like trudging through the demo again and going to where I was. It was kind of I was already feeling okay, this is a little awkward. Um, so yeah, I'm enjoying it. Yeah, if I had to rate this thing with a number, I would probably go for a 7. I enjoy a lot of 7s, by the way. I'm a dude swimming in 7s. I like 7 out of 10s, okay? So don't make that a negative thing. It's a fun game. Just at the moment, that's my impression of it. The story is really intriguing, and it's the thing that's keeping me hooked and playing. Okay, so that out of the way, I've been playing Dungeons of Hinterberg, and this game surprised the heck out of me. I would actually, I was trying to get through Flintlock, and I played Hinterberg a little bit before Flintlock, when I started my morning, and it was it grabbed the crap out of me. So it has a day cycle, kind of like the Persona games. So it's split up in days: day 1, day 2, day 3, and then you could pick your activities uh, in each day, and build relationships with people. Like use your afternoon, let's say, bunking up with your best friend Becky or some shit. You know what I mean? And as the relationship grow in the game, you get cool perks. And some of the perks from some of the relationships will give you new dungeons or give you new kind of slots for your bag or something like that. I don't know all the perks, but you get really interesting perks, and it's really um interestingly set up. Uh and I quite like the structure of the game. So as I said, it's day based. So you'll start day 1, let's say, and in the morning you have to choose a region, and there's 4 regions with its own biomes and its own like kind of magical abilities that you can find, and it'll help you through those specific regional dungeons. And it plays like a Zelda game at that point. Like the dungeons are actually really that good. The dungeons are the highlight of this game, and it's in the name for a reason. Okay. They're really fun, and I love exploring. So you'll choose a region, and then you could go through the region and do whatever you want. Um, and usually in the afternoon, you'll pick, do you want to go to a dungeon? If you go to a dungeon, it'll go skip you to evening. And in the evening, you get all your town stuff and get ready for the next day, right? You'll go back to town, you'll buy your potions, you'll sell some stuff you find in the dungeons. And then day 2 and day 3 and day 4, and you rinse and repeat that motion. But it's quite awesome. And again, it plays like a Persona game. So the people you meet in there and the relationships you choose to build really do matter and really give you a ton of things um, that you need, and open the regions even further, and might give you hidden gems everywhere. It's, without spoiling and without going way too deep on it, it's a lovely, lovely game. I will say that the combat and the spells are simplistic, but man, they get the job done. Like your abilities and the way you manipulate them in the world or use it to manipulate certain puzzles and the environment are awesome. But I'm warning you now, it might turn some people off. Like it is very simple. It just gets the job done. It's nothing crazy. Flintlock is obviously better in combat, but it's not about that. It's very Zelda like. If you
So
like old school Zelda, if you like old school Zelda, you'll like the structure of this game. Yeah.
you have made both games sound atrociously terrible. I'm going to petition Microsoft to remove them from
Why?
Game Pass immediately.
Why?
Deadly Headley, are you interested
hell,
in either or both of these games?
I do actually want to check out both of them. And I haven't yet. I plan on checking both of them out. I will probably try and cloud stream Dungeons of Hinterberg and see how I get on. I will try cloud streaming Flintlock as well, but I think that's probably going to be better off native, because I guess combat timing is more important on that game.
Which one? Flintlock? Yes.
Flintlock, yeah.
Yeah. Hinterberg is freaking good, Asa. So back off. If I had to like put a number on Hinterberg, it would be definitely above Flintlock. I'm telling you right now. But yeah, It's a great game. And by the way, the style is awesome. So Stefan, I don't freaking know how you pronounce it. I love you, man. The style of the game definitely takes some getting used to. It's comic booky, right? It's that kind of scratch pen style. Um, it's lovely in all the good ways. Play it, it's fluid in motion, and it's nice. I would say that the traversal starts pretty dreadful, but it opens up as you get the spells in certain regions to kind of traverse faster and all of that stuff. Very, very, very fun, enticing game when you get your hands on it and you start playing it. So go do that.
Hmm. Okay, do you know what I've been playing?
Nothing.
Doom 2016. I've only had these tiny little pockets of time, like not long enough to get onto the streaming most of the time. I've done a tiny bit of streaming this week, but typically because scheduling has changed a bit, I've just been like, oh, I've got 40 minutes. What can I do? I can do a level of Doom 2016. It's so bloody brilliant, that game. I'm loving it. It's like, I like Doom Eternal, don't get me wrong, and I'm going to do that one as soon as I finish Doom, because Doom Eternal is brilliant in its own right. But Doom 2016 just, it strips it all back to just playing like first-person shooters that I'm used to. Really fast, really twitchy, really smooth, just nice and simple. Kick the crap out of everything and move on. Kick the crap out of the next lot of things and move on. Gore everywhere, dramatic, makes me feel like I'm brilliant at the game. Probably just because I'm brilliant at the game, but that's pretty rare for me. I'm not brilliant at most games. Soundtrack is on point all the time. Some people criticize the not so much the soundtrack of Doom Eternal itself, but the way that it's integrated is not supposed to be as smooth. They had some issues finishing up that game in terms of timing and all the rest of it. I've not got that subtle an ear to pick up on such things, so I just hear the music and go, yeah, this is cool, and I'm having a great time. But Doom 2016 as well, I'm playing it with the old auto HDR enabled. So this is a rare occasion where I actually recommend that as a feature, because the game just has such a saturated color palette and such high contrast in a way that it just goes boom and it looks fantastic all over. Yeah, loads of fun.
Why
Gamzly.
don't you want Dungeons of Hinterberg, bro? Come on, man.
Because
what's so bad about it?
You have to spend all of this time figuring out like relationships to open dungeons, and then all you're rewarded with is something like Zelda. Fucking A.
No.
That's what I mean.
Ace has actually made me crave Doom more so than Dungeons of Hinterberg, to be fair.
You guys are fucking losers. It's so good.
What can we say? What can we say? We host an Xbox podcast. We like the Dude Bro Shooter Box. That's why we're here.
Yeah, is Blaze still here? Hold on, I'm switching to PlayStation. I'm switching to PlayStation. Screw this stuff. No, it's
that's all right. We'll see you in 6 months.
I'm glad that
you
you're connecting.
don't have any first party games to play.
Oh
what?
My god, shots fired. I'm actually happy that you're enjoying life, Asa, and you're enjoying.
I didn't say that.
Life.
I said I was enjoying Doom.
Oh,
that's not going too far, right?
Setting the bar a little bit too high there, Gamzly.
Oh my god, as high as I could jump. That's not very high. I'm very short. So, anyways, what we're gonna talk about next. And some League of Legends. I've been playing League of Legends. How about League of Legends, Asa? You want to hop in for a little bout?
No.
After the show?
No.
No? You don't want to die 24 times again?
I don't want to mouse click to move is what I don't want to do. I'm all right with the rest of it.
No, I get you. All right. What's next? What do you want to do?
I want to talk about Still Wakes the Deep, because I only played it for the first time yesterday. I think I probably played for about an hour, maybe a little bit more than that. I'm really impressed with the intro. I like the way it's set up. I think it looks really nice. The Scottish dialect is on point and fruity in language and tone, as you would expect.
I'm so happy you said that, because when I was talking about it last time, I was like, I shouted out I kind of shyly shout out the voice acting, because I didn't actually know if it was good. It just sounded very pleasant to my ears, so I shouted it out.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I was
Yeah,
like,
it's
do
great.
I say this? Because I have no idea. I have no knowledge of,
Yeah.
if that's a good dialect or whatever.
Yeah, I'm really liking the voice acting in it so far. The way it's set up is really good. The story starts quite quickly. It doesn't hang around for very long. It does get moving fairly quickly. And um it gets quite grisly quite quickly, I think. Like you're sort of lulled into a false sense of security of it being Christmas and everyone having lovely Scottish accents, and then all of a sudden you sort of go down some really, really dark corridors, and there's some guy not having a good time in the background. And yeah, it's worth trying if
It's
you
very
haven't already.
visceral. The
Go check
sound,
it out. Yeah,
like
yeah,
the screaming and the
yeah.
murdering. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, very
Yeah.
good. I again, I haven't gotten very far, so I have basically just made it back to accommodation, which is your starting point after the incident occurs. So I've had to go through some tight corridors through the water pumping station. Don't really want to give anything away, to be fair. But yeah, chat, if you guys haven't checked that out already, I'd recommend that. It's on Game Pass. I understand it's not a very long game, which is pretty good. I will say there is an egregious use of yellow paint, to the point where they
Oh,
do
yeah.
actually provide
my
an
God.
option for you to turn it off.
Oh my God! Speaking of yellow paint, freaking Flintlock does the white paint, and I find it so
Okay.
obnoxious. I find
Yeah.
it so obnoxious. Anyways, well, Flintlock and Hinterberg actually do the white paint thing, and I
I
hate
don't
it so
find the
much.
white paint as egregious as the yellow paint,
Yeah, but
to
it's
be
still like right
honest.
in front of you. It's like
It is.
sometimes it looks like road markers. Anyways, it's just so
Yeah.
bad. Anyway,
Yeah.
okay.
I did notice that a little bit with some of Hellblade 2. Anyway, and I still actually need to keep playing through Hellblade 2.
It's
Again, probably
it's
another one that I
6 hours, by
may
the
end up
way.
mastering.
Headley.
What Still Wakes the Deep.
Still wakes deep. Yeah, around
Okay.
6 to 7 for me.
Good.
So
Yeah. Cool. But yeah,
anything
so
else,
far so good on that. I'm really enjoying it.
Asa?
No,
you
that's
play
all I've
anything
had
else?
time for so far. That's all I've had
Final
time to do
Fantasy?
this week. I've done
On your
a
PlayStation?
tiny bit of, not on the PlayStation, on the PC. I finished Rebirth on the PlayStation, but I'm doing Remake on the PC and classic Final Fantasy on the Xbox. But I haven't had much time for them this week. I haven't had much time for them, so I want to. I still want to get through all of them. I want to go through. There's like a ton of back compact games on the Xbox library that I want to get to after I got through Final Fantasy VII Classic. But yeah, it's just so hard to get all the things that I want to play in there somewhere. In the meantime, I got Doom.
man,
Mm.
you
Doom is just so satisfying. It's
And
scratching these
Potato.
very well in a very short amount of time. The Potato
You have
is
to get through
really like,
Potato.
there are some games that aren't on the list of things I want to play. Yeah.
Okay, so you know what? On that note, let's hop into another topic. Do you want to hop into one of these topics here? How about like a No Man's Sky update? Did you see this?
Oh, damn. I've seen the trailer. I'm going to find the trailer while you talk about it. Introduce it, Gamzly.
Yeah, so there's this, apparently Sean Murray just dropped this new kind of announcement about new update on No Man's Sky, and it looks crazy big. Like they did this, universal refresh. They're adding kind of like expeditions, new creatures. I'm just reading here. New environments, new wind, new all this new stuff. It just looks incredible. If you watch like the small snippet, like the little trailer that he shows off, man, it looks beautiful, eh? Like this game just has such a redemption arc. It's probably the biggest comeback in gaming history in my recent memory, right? It has to be, right?
It's
Yeah, it's
absurd.
really impressive.
The trailer is playing at the moment, and it's quite fun because it's got these little tags in the corner that tell you what they're adding, but it doesn't align with what's in the trailer at all. It's like, we've revamped all the water, and it's a guy running around in a field of grass. Have you? That's cool.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
good.
it does get better. It does get better. Like you see like the weather effects here with the guy in like that desert environment. It looks insane. I don't know if you got to it yet, but um yeah, it just everything looks really cool. I'm watching it in real time as well. Um it got this game got so much more gorgeous than I remember. I'm gonna hop back in. This is on Game Pass still, guys. So if you're interested in No Man's Sky, maybe you're a lapsed player, maybe you never touched it before, maybe it was never your jam. I think this game is just a completely different beast than it launched in. So go check this out. It looks incredible.
It
So I just
really,
wanted
really
to bring
does.
that to your attention.
It's
Yeah.
so it launched in like 2016, I think, and it was not that well received because Sean Murray promised the world and only delivered a couple of cities or whatever. Like it didn't live up to people's expectations of it. They are a small team and they put loads of effort into it, but there's an awful lot of procedural generation that it relies on to achieve the scale that it does. And there were a lot of limitations to it, and it just wasn't that feature rich. But they have delivered like dozens now of really weighty content patches for it, revamped everything. This latest patch for it is more of a revamp than it is new content. They're changing the capabilities of their procedural generation to make the planets more varied, the more detailed, and all kinds of things that you just saw in that trailer that look really, really good. And that is listed as part 1 of the refresh. So there is going to be a part 2 coming. All of that while the tiny team that it is working on Light No Fire, which is their planet-sized game that's also procedural generation and will share a lot of features, I'm sure, but is a very different environment. Last I heard, they were only like a team of about 16 people, and they don't charge for all these content updates. That's the thing that's really like
It's nuts.
sends ripples through the industry, because it's not how things work. You don't spend an additional 8 years working on a game without directly monetizing that work, but Hello Games do.
How do you think they're getting away with that? How do you think they're able to run and with no return? Almost no return.
It's not no return, because they are still on the subscription services. So every time you get like a release like this that gets us talking about it, there will be an uptick in people playing it. There will be some people buying it. There is some amount of revenue heading their way as a result of working on it and all the rest of it. But it is just a very surprising, very refreshing approach to handling a game. And it just looks awesome now. So yeah, and obviously like a lot of people here won't care, but the whole thing is playable in VR as well, which is how I want to go and sample those weather effects. So it might be there soon.
Sounds fun. That sounds really, really good.
No, it doesn't.
I would like to check that.
Doesn't.
Yeah, it
No, it
does.
doesn't.
It sounds
No, it
dope.
doesn't.
Are
Whatever.
you like very, very anti VR, Gamzly? Like, do you
I
do you
love
play
VR.
it at all? You play it?
I love VR. I just hate that I can't love it to the extent that you guys could love it, because I have no fingers. But
Oh yeah, we talked about this before. I think you guys talked about
Yes.
this on Game On Daily, didn't you?
We
Like,
did,
there's
we
no
did.
adaptive
Mhm.
controllers for VR. Yeah, no, I remember
Yeah,
now.
not yet.
Yeah.
I always love.
Hopefully that
I
comes
have
soon.
see. I have to throw in one hand joke every episode, and you have to laugh. All right, just laugh.
Which hand are you going to throw it
It
with?
helps me. Left. I'm a lefty, but it's let's. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm gonna make a very bad joke.
What's the hand joke?
Nothing. So, anyways, VR No Man's Sky sounds incredible, and I would like to experience it too, but I cannot. But
Quick question.
I am definitely going to jump
Gamzly,
in. I'm
actually.
going to jump into that. What? Yeah.
Really quick question for you, dude.
What's up?
That modular controller that we talked about,
Yeah.
do you know if you can use that with VR?
No, you cannot. Well, I mean, you could use. You can use multiple controller layouts, right? Asa,
So
in
that's
some VR
quite.
games.
I don't want to overly derail it in that direction. So the PC VR side of thing is a lot more friendly to being modded and a lot more flexible, as is always the way with gaming, right? You've got your kind of out of the box experiences on consoles and things that may specifically try and like provide these controllers for people or something like that that's targeted in that way. PC VR, you can kind of go off the rails and make things work for yourself if you try hard enough. So you probably could use that controller in some way, but at the same time, there's downsides to the flexibility of a PC, and it is an amount of work to get things to work the way that you want them to. So,
Yeah, it's funny you say controller because have you seen that Deadpool controller they announced? Another great segue, Deadly.
What a
Thank
segue.
you.
It's
Thank you, Deadly.
before we
What
get
did you-
into the juicy and delicious story that is the Deadpool cheeks, there's a couple of housekeeping things. First one is that we are going to be doing a Q&A at the end of the show. So if you have any questions, please make sure that you put them in the Q&A box that we have in our chat on the live show. And also, please make sure that you hit the like button and the subscribe button, and you share the show out and do all of that lovely stuff that helps us grow and enables more people to hear Gamzly talk about how much he likes butt cheeks on controllers.
This controller's amazing. This controller's awesome. I want it. I want it now. As you can see behind me, if you wait, no, I don't think I made it in the frame, but I'm a controller geek. I got all I love Xbox like collecting certain Xbox controllers, and this is definitely one that I would definitely have on a controller pack in the background. I have my Star Wars. Oh, you did. You opened it up. Yeah, as you could see on the top there, you can see my 2 Star Wars editions controllers. They're awesome. I love them so much. You got the Mandalorian and like the 50th anniversary controller. But yeah, it would be definitely on my shelf. Look at this thing. So genius. You can't even buy this, huh? Is this another like one of those contest winning thingies? Yeah, you can't buy this. It sucks.
They really are just right there, aren't they?
Yeah, dude, it's so funny.
It's so
Man,
good,
it's so good.
It's
You
so
can't
good.
not laugh at this, you know? I love it.
Carry
So,
on.
Oh,
you
man.
want to grab butt cheeks or what, Asa?
I do.
Okay. Okay. That's it?
Yeah.
Nothing else?
Nothing to add.
Breaking
How about
news.
you?
Asa wants to grab butt cheeks.
welcome to Xbox news this month. But yeah, somebody clip that. Tony, please clip this. Please clip Asa saying he wants to grab butt cheeks. I would love
A
that.
really slow week, guys.
I would love that.
It's
Okay,
really
so we could now that that's over, we can move on to something else. I do have this in the docket, but I'm not sure. I couldn't find the actual like rumor article or whatever. The Crash Bandicoot thing. You talked about this at Roundtable, didn't you?
Yeah. So I can't remember the account that was responsible for it, but essentially an artist in the video game industry was bemoaning one of the games that they'd been working on that had been cancelled, and they happened to reference as part of the conversation that followed that people would be especially disappointed if they had seen what was coming in Crash Bandicoot 5 before that was cancelled. And that's the entire basis of the story, was this conversation over Twitter. So, Gamzly, are you disappointed?
I'm no. No, I'm not. Honestly, I think I've talked about Crash Bandicoot and all this a lot. I do love the mascot era. Like I will stand by that. I love mascots. So more mascots, the better. It's kind of a bummer that, a game will not release and it might have maybe been good on my service that I pay for, but yeah, I don't really care about Crash, but it's shocking because we read a story again. We read a story long before this that it sold like 20 million, like the Insane trilogy, right? Sold like 20 million copies. So it's quite weird that they don't. Well, this rumor's floating around that they wouldn't just make another ones. But yeah, what do you think, Deadly?
I wonder if the reason why they're not confident in it is because the Insane trilogy was going to sell well, possibly because it was something that was being remade. So there's the whole nostalgia ticket that goes with it. But every time, or well, more recently when they've tried something new with the IP, it's not gone very well. So I wonder if they saw, because there was that Crash All Stars Brawl or something like that. It was basically like Smash, but with Crash Bandicoot to a certain degree, right? And I don't think it did very well.
No.
And I wonder if they've gone, okay, maybe this IP just doesn't carry the weight that it did back in the 90s.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. It feels icky to me because the last one that they made, what was it called? Asa, like the
And
new Crash.
Crash
What was it called?
something Crash Bandicoot 4 it was called.
Oh yes. Yeah, four.
Is that a back in time one or I don't know?
Yeah, who cares? For it sold something around like upward of 3-ish million, like didn't it? So I don't quite understand unless they're really discouraged from spending money like that for a game like that that might not be Call of Duty numbers and have the whole ABK mindset, but I don't think that bodes well for the Microsoft kind of Xbox mindset. I think they need to pump all sorts of content into Game Pass, and Crash kind of seems like it wouldn't cost that much money and still get some eyes. So it's a weird one for me.
It's perhaps the opposite of what a lot of people wanted to see out of the ABK acquisition. I'll say that much because there was Activision had a reputation, and Toys for Bob in particular, the studio that people assume was behind Crash Bandicoot 5. Obviously, they have their own story and they're not with Microsoft and ABK anymore. But the expectation and the disappointment that people had with Activision ahead of the acquisition was that they were kind of cutting away everything that wasn't Call of Duty and getting developers like Toys for Bob to work as an accessory to Call of Duty rather than making the games they were known for and good at. So there was a hope and even words to imply that they were going to do this from Microsoft. There was a big hope around it that those studios would be able to go off and do things that weren't Call of Duty. Maybe the Call of Duty cycle might slow down a little bit and we'd see a little bit more out of Activision that people wanted. So, I mean, it's a bit of a nothing story, so I don't really want to like overly doom and gloom it. And I don't like Crash Bandicoot. I don't think you should ever be running towards the camera in any game. And I'm not such a fan of the mascot era, I'll be honest. So the failed one can do one. So
you're just a rude robot.
Yeah.
Yo, man, it's true. You don't even like Mario.
I don't. I liked Mario. I've told you before. I liked Mario back in the Super Nintendo days as the 2D platformer that it was. That was fun. Not as fun as Sonic.
Okay, yeah. Let's ban him. I don't know how, but let's do that. Tony, let's join forces. Tony, Deadly. My God. Aren't you maybe going to have a Nintendo podcast at some point? You don't.
That's where the character for that would come from. Would be my hatred of Mario. It would make it an entertaining show.
Okay, perfect. To offset all the positivity. As always. Okay, fine.
To be fair, Asa says we're not a cheerleading podcast, so
exactly.
If the theme every week is I don't really like Mario that much, then yeah, sorry Nintendo fans, get what you get.
Oh my God, do I sound okay to you guys? Because Tony's calling out my mic. Am I good? Hello.
All right,
I think it's fine.
Lovely. All right, perfect. So screw you, Tony. I hate you. Okay.
Tony has better ears than me, so your mic is probably shit. Like normally Tony's right. I'd give him that much.
Okay.
It's still slightly gainy, but it's better than it was.
God dang it. All right. Well, I'm trying here. Sorry about that, guys. If you hear me like a robot, probably because I am.
You sound really
I'm
clear.
becoming one. I am.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm becoming one. Okay. So, anything else on this rumor? Are we done with this one? We can move on to another thing.
Okay.
Yeah, all done.
Okay. Let's go back to a quick TV thing. So apparently Fallout got 17 nominations at the Emmys. Like this is turning out to be quite a good investment on the Microsoft Xbox end here, or early day Bethesda. But yeah, I that's crazy. 17 nominations is a big success story here for that team. I'm happy for them, since
You want to
they
know what
can't
else
get
is
the same
crazy?
luck. They can't get the same luck with their games.
Do you want to know what else is crazy that Amazon can do
Yes.
with that? You know how Amazon are dicks and they've decided that they want to advertise during all of their shows? Guess which
Arseholes, have they
app
really?
and game? Yeah. Guess which app and game they can now start advertising in the middle of the Fallout TV show? Just gonna point that one out.
Crash
And
Bandicoot
they
Fire.
could target it to and they could target it to specifically the Fire Sticks that can play the Xbox app, because the older ones can't. So yeah, look forward to seeing that in Fallout Season 2, because you can almost guarantee, unless Xbox decides that they don't want to do it for reasons, or they just don't think about it because the marketing team are shit, then maybe we'll see some improvements there. Sorry.
This is completely unrelated and not a gaming thing. I despise adverts in the middle of programs, but even if you have a service like Amazon and you've got the Fallout series or whatever it may be, if you pay for a tier that doesn't have adverts, it still chops the program up in this disgusting way that just breaks the pacing, because you've still got these moments where it's clearly intended that it cuts to commercial. Freaking hate that stuff.
Yes.
I hope that never infects games in the way that it infects TV.
Very quickly cut to a black screen, and then we're going to cut to a completely different scene at a different time in a different setting, and you can call it transition, you can call it an ad break, you can call it whatever the fuck you want, but either way you're getting served that ad, my guy. Mean.
We're very lucky though, because probably since I was about 10 I've been expecting this to infect games at some point, and it hasn't, and that's such a damn relief.
Wait for it.
I've been waiting. I really don't want to.
Coming. It's coming. It's coming at some point, right? It has to be. And I'm not happy about what that might entail. I think like sports games are not going to be so bad because, well, there's going to be controversy regardless, because sports games are probably going to be banners around the thing and little like cuts in and out. Like, but that's part of sports. It's going to
sports presentation,
well, but yeah, so it's gonna blend pretty well. But in like Halo or something, you like open up the Halo game, as there's gonna be like 5 advertisements in the menu. It's gonna be awkward. Yeah, it's
go through a Resident Evil door, and it's like a commercial break.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
They kind of put. I mean, okay, they kind of did put adverts in games because the storefronts constantly have rotating offers and shit. But I would argue that microtransactions are infinitely worse than adverts in games, for sure. Although, no, because microtransactions are optional, and the ads won't be. When ads come to gaming, they won't be optional.
There's some commonality in the fact that they can like just take you out of the experience, though. Like microtransactions themselves being there, but it's when they're pushed and they just take you out and make you think something other than I'm really enjoying this moment. I could be spending money, like you've ruined it. So
just a quick little thing. Since we have about like 40-ish minutes, if you guys have any questions and you want us to comment on anything you've seen in the news or whatever, just post it in the chat box or wherever you want to post it, and we'll answer it. We need your help here. Because it's coming to the end of the show.
That's fine.
Yeah, whatever you want. Do that. Help us out. Okay, so yeah, the advertisement on the advertisement thing, it's an interesting question. If you had to choose one, right, Asa? If you had to choose no World of Warcraft sub, like no no horse mounts and armor, you know what I mean? No game time stuff, just advertisement in some weird way that we don't really understand yet. Which one would you take? The advertisement or keep microtransactions as a whole?
What? I need to think about that.
If you had to choose. Okay, there you go. So
microtransactions,
if it means if it means microtransactions the way we know it now and to like just don't exist in its place, it is something like we are getting in TV, where it might be, like we said, in the menus of egregious menu advertisement or whatever, okay, in-game cuts. Would you take that over our model of microtransactions at this moment?
Not strictly speaking. I'm like really particular and really protective over the way that it's not even just games, but particularly games, the way that they're delivered and whether the commercialization kind of compromises the experience and the creative vision. And I think you can drastically compromise it in terrible ways with either microtransactions or adverts. You can also probably potentially make them work so long as the focus is delivering the proper creative vision for the people that want to pay for it, and then seeing what you can push in like aside from that, rather than designing around how to maximize the amount of money that you can bring in and then kind of working in reverse from there. And typically, I mean, we live in a real world where massive corporate entities are running this industry, and that creative vision surviving over and above monetization is like an unlikely story. So I still consider generally we're very lucky that gaming and gamers in particular have been fairly resilient and resistant to these kind of changes, because if it hadn't been the case, if corporations and commercial teams had got away with more, we'd be seeing more. We'd be seeing nothing but adverts and microtransactions and high prices everywhere. But you know, there is
a few years ago it was on the precipice of getting quite horrible, wasn't it? Because there was this big, like, loot boxes were a massive thing until there was enough pushback from the gaming community and from international courts that just went, yeah, this is not safe. This is not good for the consumer in any way, and you're essentially encouraging children to gamble with adults' money, and it's not. We can't do it anymore. They could have gotten away with it, and they sort of, I mean, they definitely did, but yeah, scary stuff, man. Like how quickly, like, you could argue that social media has done something very, very similar to our society, in that, like, the genie was let out of the bottle before being held to the checks and balances that in hindsight should have been there before it was let out of the bottle. But now that it's out, you can't really coax it back in.
Yeah. So on that note, that was a cool little advertisement tangent. Well, let's go into, do you want to do like the rest rapid fire, talk about some August games, and maybe if we have questions, get out of here? You want to do that?
No.
Yeah. It's
Do the
very,
rapid
very
fire,
rare
but,
that we actually end up coming in under or around 90 minutes. So
yeah, honestly, I would say length of the show is fine. I would say save the August games for a little bit closer to August, because we'll probably probably keep some of those. But if there's more news topics in the docket, let's go through those, and then we'll do the questions.
Perfect. Okay. So, just a few interesting things that I pulled from some articles here. So there's a really awesome, prestigious kind of visual effects studio that got closed recently. That is, I think it's Axis. Is it Axis? Oh my god! It was founded in like 2000. I freaking forgot the name. Do I have the article here? Oh.
looks like Axis.
Yes,
Axis
it was
Studios.
Axis. That sucks, because these guys are awesome. They're a studio that were behind a lot of the Halo Infinite. I believe they had a kick-ass trailer for the Halo Infinite. Destiny, a lot of Destiny stuff. They're big. They've been around for a long time, since 2000, so 24 years. So these guys are big, and they've been destroyed, which is kind of sad and weird. What do you think about this? Shout out to all those people, because you guys are awesome. Yeah, what do you think about this?
That sucks ass. There's been some amazing cutscenes in those games that you just mentioned there, and they have been a benefit to the industry and a benefit to their audiences. So, do you know why they've been closed? What's happened?
I I have to reread this whole article because I freaking got sidetracked. No, I didn't. I don't know exactly. Let me just read down here, down the line. As I read, you could say your piece, Deadly.
I'm looking for anything more specific than financial issues, but that seems to be the top line in the article. But yeah, it's a real shame. They've been operating for 24 years, based out of Glasgow in Scotland. And yeah, some of the work that they've been responsible for has been absolutely stunning. So yeah, it's a real shame. I know that specifically in Halo Infinite, which is definitely where I'm going to know most of their work from. The cutscene work that they put into that game was phenomenal. I think specifically we're looking at obviously the all the in-engine cutscenes were obviously done, by 343's team and in Slip Space Engine, but any of the like very visually impressive like CG cinematic stuff was all done by the studio in Halo Infinite, and it was really nice. So yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. No, these guys were badass. So it just seems to be an unfortunate kind of cash flow thing here. Not enough projects and increase in labor costs. So that's pretty, you know, at this point that line is in almost all these closures, right? The costs are getting too high, and there's either too much projects going on or not enough, and you're getting massacred. So shout out to those guys. It's a sad day for Axis. Those guys were cool. Anyway, okay, you have anything else, Asa?
I don't.
That's it on this. Okay, so prayers to those guys and everybody else losing their jobs in this past like freaking 6 months. Okay. Next rapid fire, we got like Forza reaching 40 million people. So 40 million, guys. That's a lot. And the number is slowly progressing upward, which is really surprising to me. Like it's trending up. And I know that they're not
the only direction it can go, Gamzly.
No, yes, yeah, I get it. No.
Yeah, it's the tail player number can't go down.
Listen to me. No, yes, it's player. I was getting to that, you little shit. I was getting to that. I know they're not retained. Like, here's the thing.
Gamzly doesn't know how numbers work.
Retaining players is what I was talking about, because it could get to the point that the players are not staying, or the player count is going down because they're not staying, right? That's what I meant by it. Because for instance, Halo on the opposite end has never crossed more than 20, 25, right? It just stagnated and stayed the same, and the retention is not as good, and not as many people are interested at the moment, or else it would be 40 million. Forza being at 40 million is crazy. It's a lot. That's a lot of people. That means there's a lot of word of mouth selling this game to more people, unlike Halo at the moment. So that's good news. No, is it not? That's what I meant by going up, you little shit. I hate you so much. I hate you with a passion. With a passion. But yeah, what do you think about this? 40 million players, pretty crazy.
A lot of people. This is Forza Horizon 5, is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good numbers, good game.
Good numbers, good game, and we played often in our community nights, right? So
it has been a regular. You've not been there. You've not played Forza Horizon with us. You hate us.
I'm dying, dude. I'm dying. But yeah. Continue. Yeah, it's awesome. It's easy to jump in, right? I mean, the experience that we've had is pretty stable. The connection never drops.
No, this is how you know that you've not been there with us at all. It's never perfectly stable. Forza Horizon 5. Forza Motorsport, rock solid. You bring as many people as you want, up to 24, jump into as many races as you want, and it just works. Forza Horizon 5, to this day, we always have someone getting booted out, someone having issues, someone getting kicked back to menus, and all of those kind of things. The game is like my preference over Motorsport. It's much more fun to me. It looks freaking stunning. Like, it's such a gorgeous game, and it does so much so right, but it's a little overcomplicated in how the online play works and the way it tries to switch you to its convoy, to its open world, to its races, and occasionally just leaves people behind.
That all sounds like complaining.
Does it?
I don't like it.
I just said how much I like the game, didn't I?
Headley's like just Headley just dying. We're like honestly we're like a married couple, all right? It's not
It's honestly, it's
terrible.
taking
It's a
me
terrible
back
thing.
to the days of just waiting for my parents to get divorced. It's good time. Good time.
You can't get rid of me. Can't get rid of me at all. I'll be here forever. Until this whole internet blows up and Discord decides to die.
I can make that happen.
No, please no. Please don't do it. I have too much fun. Okay, Headley, what do you think about the numbers? And we could quickly move on.
It's good. It's good. Big number, like big number. Good for Xbox. Bad for PlayStation. Boo rah. I'm kidding. We don't believe in console
PlayStation
wars here.
sucks. Ponies and all that stuff. Okay.
Those actually that's the point. The 40. So as part of that article, in second place, both Forza Horizon 5 and Sea of Thieves claimed 40 million players each. Sea of Thieves 40 million players will include PlayStation figures as part of that as well, which means that Forza Horizon only running on PC and Xbox objectively is actually done very well for itself, considering it's on a reduced number of platforms.
Good.
Look at that. Xbox guys play games. That's all I have to say.
Apparently. Surprise. Yeah, I think we pissed off Isla because we're looking like we were going into the community questions, but there's one more I want to piss you guys off with, and that is the news of this cool blade dynamic background. Look at this thing. Have you seen this, Deadly? Look at that nostalgia bump.
So I have seen this, but it just feels a bit bittersweet because you can't actually like use it properly. Yeah. I wanna be more excited about it than I am. Probably
Yeah,
if I
when did
actually set it up on my console, then maybe I'll feel differently. But
doesn't it like
yeah.
isn't it such a like a half step? They could have just
Yeah.
mirrored it and made it look like it, you know? But no, it's just
Well,
floating.
the thing is that the UI is designed completely differently. So everything on the Xbox, like the UI is split into different tabs. But one of the updates that was made to Xbox fairly recently, where they sort of overhauled it and made like some of your content visible but closer to the fold so that you could see more of the dynamic artwork and stuff, basically involved turning the UX into something that was more vertical based, whereas on the 360 everything was hinged on those blades. So you sort of I don't know if you ever used the blades. I didn't know, it just feels like a really weird half-assed implementation because you'd have to basically overhaul the entirety of the series console UX UI in order to make it feel like it was trying to achieve the same thing that the 360 did.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a weird one for me.
Yeah.
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 That is me being an
Bring
asshole
back
as
the
a
blades.
UX UI designer, though. That's like me specifically going, no, it's fucking pointless, as someone who works in that field. But for nostalgia trips, yeah, great, fine. It's cool.
I kind of like nostalgia trips, and I like it when they play up their history and things like that. But it is, it's just background. I don't really give a shit. I'm not going to change my Xbox dynamic. But you can't even flick between the blades, can you? It just sits there in the background.
No, yeah, that's what I was saying. It just kind of floats in the background. You can't actually, it doesn't actually like feel like it's the blades, right? So it's kind of like, like why they just float it there in the background? So weird. But yeah, no, technically we know why. It's just a funny little story that I wanted to put in there. It doesn't really matter.
It's a cute little thing for all the OGs who are
yeah,
just
dying for that era again.
just harking back to a simpler time. Yeah.
Okay, so that's it. I don't think we need to jump into any of the August games. We could go straight to community questions and spend the rest of the time there. There is this topic here that I'm highlighting, but I don't really care for it. So let's just
I
skip that one.
no, I don't.
Let's just skip
It's-
that one.
I don't even know what
All right.
topic they're talking about. So let's go on to our first question, which is Lethal Migraine has asked, just why?
I asked the same question every single day, Lethal, and I'm still waiting for an answer.
Well, if you mean why is Gamzly so amazing, or why does
It
it
wasn't
seem
that.
No,
like
that's not
It
the
definitely
no.
wasn't that.
why does he play so many games? Because the other two freaking don't. They're playing freaking.
That's it. That
all
is the
game-
question worth asking. Of the three guys who host a gaming podcast, only one of them has played more than one game this week.
Yep. All right. Next question.
Yeah, I mean, okay, we've got the next one. It's from Tony. Who's buying the Deadpool controller? The answer is no one, because it's not available for sale. And why does it look uncomfortable?
I think you're looking at it
Deadpool
wrong,
looks
Tony.
comfortable. Yeah. Yeah, come on, man. It looks super comfortable. It's nice and juicy and bubbly and all that stuff.
Is it a
does look
squeezy butt,
uncomfortable,
or is
to
it
be
solid? Like
I think it's a solid butt, but it would have been genius if it was padded. Like it would
it'd
have
be more
genius.
comfortable if it
Yeah,
was.
actually would.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it would just it's going to get in the way of your fingers when they wrap around the handles of the pad.
Luckily,
isn't
I
it?
don't
So
have that
it's-
problem.
yeah, but if
There's
you
You'll
could
be
like,
fine.
baby.
Yeah, this
if
is
you,
actually
if you could just like pull the cheeks apart, it would be a comfortable hold.
Oh my god. Oh my god, they should make a Halo one. They should be a Master Cheeks edition.
yeah, that's it. That's it.
Incredible. Incredible. All right.
Okay, next question, please. Oh, it's already there. I recently bought Tales of Iron on sale. This is Drake Williams. I recently bought Tales of Iron on sale, and it's quite good so far. Did I ever complete it, and what did I think of it? Am I looking forward to the sequel, and will I be playing it? So, Drake, the trailer for the sequel is what made me go and buy the first one in the first place, because it's a very nice trailer, and I like the art style, and it's like a vote
Gamzly.
over that art style instead of pixel art, because I much prefer it. I didn't finish it though. I played that one session that I did on stream, loved what I played of it, and then I forgot that I'd started it. It's really neat. It's narrated by what's his face, The Witcher, Geralt, the voice actor. I can't remember his name, Doug Cockle. And
What did you just say? Dukaku?
yes, exactly that. And it's actually a really neat little game that I recommend to everyone. So yeah, I will play the second one when it comes about. Hopefully I will have an opportunity to finish the first one before then, because I actually did enjoy what I played of it. Did you finish it,
I don't know
Gamzly?
what name you said. I didn't know what name you said. I couldn't hear.
Doug. I said Doug.
Okay, good. First off, you didn't give me the flowers, okay? I brought that to your attention.
You
alright?
did not.
Me.
Not you.
I did, you little shit.
No, you didn't.
I talked about it.
I don't
so
listen to you,
much.
Gamzly. You talked about it so much, and I ignored
Oh,
every single bit of it. And then a trailer for Tales of Iron 2 came on. That is the one where, that looks good.
So bullshit. Okay, fine. You know, might as well. No, I did not finish it, but I loved it. I got halfway through. Okay, let's go.
All right. Deadly, have you played either of those? Or obviously not either. Only one of them's out at the moment. But they are good fun if you get a chance. Right. Pete has asked, the text character limit on Q&A questions is too low. Can you increase it, or is it a YouTube thing? Often start a question and then have to give up even after trying to edit it down enough and fail. Pete, you managed quite a hefty question in the space just there. I was kind of hoping that it would tail off halfway through a sentence just to prove a point, but it didn't. You even managed a couple of dots at the end of it. I have no control over the length of that question box. Ordinarily, when I'm being well organized and stuff, I do set up a question section on Discord as well for the longer ones. I've been a bit slack on that lately, so I will try and get those going again. And the next question is there. Just James has asked, I've asked this before, on my show. Are you guys going to look at the Xbox 360 store deals before it closes? So I can't remember what date that is, but it's pretty damn soon now. The Xbox 360's digital store is closing down, and I think there are some sort of clearance sales. Although from what I gather, some people have had a bit of trouble actually redeeming their purchases on it and things like that. It's going away. Are you going to fire up an actual Xbox 360 and take a little look around the deals to pick anything up before it goes? Is there anything that you're going to miss?
No, I think no. Nope. Quick answer.
I don't have a 360 to hand. So that sort of rules me out. One thing that I am going to miss, because this is a game that I really want to play on the Series X and I can't, is Fear. I've been craving that game and I have no way of playing it, so that's quite frustrating. I do hope that Xbox gets a better I mean, it's already got a good grip on backwards compatibility, don't get me wrong. There's a lot that you can go back and play on the modern systems, which is brilliant. But it is a real shame that there is still caveats to that library.
Yeah, I think I have all of the physical kind of all the good physical 360 games still. And I do have a 360 as well that's in working order. So everything that I kind of want, I have nostalgia for, I already have physically. So I don't think I'm going to jump into the digital library.
I'm going to try to, because I don't have a good 360 physical library at all. And there are definitely some games that are not back compat. I have a 360. I have a launch model 360 and like no HDMI port. Somehow no Red Ring of Death. I went through like 4 of those consoles, but this is it's a launch console. I think it's probably a refurb and they probably changed the solder to a working solder, but it's there, and it not having an HDMI port actually makes it really damn awkward to use now. But I could use going through the store, because there's some like, I want 99 Nights. It's not even a good game, but it's one of the ones that I played when the thing came out and I want it. It's not back compat. And there's probably a bunch of others. So I could use digging up literally a recommendations list from somewhere on the internet of things that you're just not going to be able to get anymore when the store goes away, and just picking those up. So yes, I will try and have a look.
Before we go to the next question, I just want to answer Tom here. Okay, this is important. So he says, not exactly sure what French toast is. So I'm going to answer that question. Okay. I know you didn't ask it, but I'm going to answer it anyway. French toast is a little toast. You grab a toast, all right? You put it in pancake batter, all right? Then you fry it on a pan, and then you add a little bit of butter and some maple syrup. And voila, you got a French toast. It's basically a toast pancake. It's delicious. You're welcome.
Thanks.
Sounds good.
Probably is actually really good.
Yes, it's very good.
Yeah,
with bacon
argue.
as well. Get some bacon in there too.
Yeah, you could put whatever
Something
you want
about bacon and maple syrup that's just magical.
Yeah, anything like that, like sausage and all that good stuff. Anyway, you're welcome.
You know what I'd really like to play on the 360 again? Or, well, I could play it on my Series X, to be fair. Did you guys play Condemned?
Yeah.
Fantastic game.
I liked hitting stuff.
Yeah, I really liked that game.
Yeah. Right. Next question. It's another one from Pete. He's managed to fit this one into the question box in its entirety. I've got an easy answer for this one. What is the worst game that you've actually played through to the finish? And even though you hated it, why did you complete it?
Watch Dogs 1 because I paid money for it and I hated every single moment.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's rude. Okay. What is the worst game you played? No, crap.
Mine's really easy.
There's a
So
lot
while
of
you're
them.
thinking, Gamzly,
Rotato. No, I'm kidding.
Rotato would definitely be up there if you managed to complete that. You got a lot more patience than I have. What you said, Headley, is quite interesting actually, because that's how things have really like changed. You don't complete a game that you don't like anymore. But back in the day when you had to pay a lot of money for those games, damn well finish them because they cost you money, and you oftentimes got a lot more out of them. So that's actually been quite quite significant in the way that games are designed and how they have to catch you very early now for you to keep on playing and kind of get the best out of them. For me, the answer is really easy. The worst game that I've ever played, and I regret that I finished it, was 12 Minutes. Hate.
You didn't like that?
I absolutely despise that game, and if you played it through to the end, then you know if you get to the end, it somehow dives far deeper into the realms of terrible and awful, horrible nonsense. I hated that game, and then your reward for getting to the end is some incest bullshit. That's a spoiler, but I'm not spoiling it because the real reward here is to be very assured that you should never touch that game.
I quite liked it. I understand why you didn't. I do agree with you that it felt like a very long drink for a very long walk for a short drink of water. But I did quite like it. I like how it was set up. I liked the voice acting in it. And I liked being made to try different things and sort of like desperately scrambling for like the weirdest solution because I felt like I'd tried everything else and that ended up being the thing that worked. Like there was a lot that I liked about that game, but I get why the ending pissed you off because it's fair. I think it's a very fair criticism.
Not just the ending. Like I hated the pacing of it because it's a game that if you haven't played it, and again I still really don't recommend that you do, but it's a game that plays on like the Groundhog Day kind of concept of looping time and replaying your day, but it really felt repetitive. Really grinded each loop because it just didn't have a nice pacing to it where it changes enough to keep you hooked for me. I hated it while I was playing it, and I hated it more when I finished it. Really quickly going to grab this super chat from Joseph. Shout out to you guys from Spain. See you on Spotify, which means I definitely said your name all wrong, but I apologize for that. And yes, I will try and get the shows back on Spotify. I've been quite bad for that recently as well, but I've had a few people ask for it, so we'll try and get them back there.
Shout out. Thank you for that. Seriously.
Thanks, Joseph.
Also, speaking of hogs, Sonic the Hedgehog is my answer. 2006. That game can go burn in hell and die just like that franchise. All right.
What Sonic came out in 2006?
It's Sonic the Hedgehog. It was like called.
Is it just called that?
What the hell was it called? Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog. Pretty sure. Sonic the Hedgehog 2000.
But like a reboot or something.
It was the it was like that god awful. It was a 3D platformer, wasn't it? Yeah, the 3D platformer one.
Yeah.
The first one. I think. Is that true? 2006. Yeah. Yeah, it was that really awful one that was known to be awful in 3D.
I entirely believe you. The first 3D one was Sonic Adventure, though, right? And there was an isometric one before that. I don't know which one Sonic the Hedgehog is. I don't think I've played.
It's on the 360 and PS3.
Yes. Yeah, that one. It's awful. It's terrible, and I
recognize it. I don't think I played it, but I do recognize it.
Yeah, I wiped it out of my memory, and then I was thinking how I could make Asa angry. And then I thought of Sonic the Hedgehog, and I said, "Okay."
You missed by such a stretch. I didn't feel a thing.
Damn it! I thought, oh man, his favorite, mascot is Sonic, so I got a shit on it.
It's not my favorite mascot. I mean, it's my favorite ever bunch. I don't like mascots very much. But nice try, Gamzly. You can't upset me with such trivial things. We've got another question from Pete. What is your favorite piece of gaming memorabilia or a game item that you still own?
What is your favorite piece of gaming memorabilia? I really like. I have like Master Sword replicas. Is that like a?
That's memorabilia. Yes, it definitely counts.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a Master Sword replica. I freaking love that thing so much. I've had it forever. But yeah.
Okay. What's it made of? I'm just so I know what it is. Just so I know what it is. Like, how big is it? Could you kill someone with it?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. Have you?
No.
Yeah, that was the moment
the
of like,
right
oh, this is
answer.
being recorded.
My own hopes and dreams. Right? But that's it. Yeah, I love that thing. I love replicas. I have a right over here. If you could see in my wide shot, on the bottom here, that's a Obi-Wan lightsaber replica as well.
Mhm.
So I like the memorabilias. Anyways,
I have
that's all I
never
got.
had like I would like to own lots of nonsense. I've always focused all of my money onto more tangible, actual like games and hardware and things. So I have very little in the way of memorabilia. I've got these two posters behind me. I like both of those, the Lich King and Cloud over there. Those are like a nice background. Besides that, it would be like some actual old retro games, and it would probably be Panzer Dragoon Saga is the gem of my collection of old stuff, because that game is not only brilliant but also quite rare. I don't really have any like toys and stuff though, sadly.
I'm also struggling to pin that down, but I do know it's actually in a storage box in our garage, I think. One of my favorite limited
Garage?
edition purchases that I bought, sorry, garage. Um, the one of my favorite limited edition games, and again, don't really buy them so much anymore because everything that I own is digital. I try and avoid buying too much sort of merch and memorabilia and things like that, just because we struggle with storage space here. But I got the limited edition Halo Reach bundle, which came with
Oh,
like
yeah.
a little Dr. Halsey diary. I really like that. I really
Oh,
like
that's
that. If
cool.
I had to pick one, I think it'd be that.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
And actually, that diary, the actress who plays Dr. Halsey in the TV show, she's flipping through a version of that diary at the end of the first season. By the way, little trivia for you there.
Excellent.
There you go.
Are there any more questions? There are not. We did it.
That's
Okay.
it.
There you go.
With a little tiny little slither
Right.
of time for me to go and play some Doom as well. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We have reached the end. So thank you everyone that has come through and caressed the like button on our humble little show. It is appreciated. Deadly Headley, tell people where they can find you and what you're up to.
Thank you again for everyone showing up to the show, everyone listening after the fact and all that sort of stuff. Please make sure that you hit the like button like you guys do every week, because it helps us out and helps us grow and all that stuff. You can find me here every Thursday at 8 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Eastern, or 12 p.m. Pacific. You can find me on Twitter at deadlyheadley_. And you can find me on YouTube at Deadly Headley as well. There'll be links in the description for all of that stuff. There's a lot of journalistic style news, opinions, reviews, content from me, largely, or pretty much all of it is Xbox focused. And I put quite a lot of focus into my production value as well, because I am a graphic designer and like making things look really fucking good. I am quite slow. If you haven't listened to us before, or you haven't heard me to talk about my channel before, I'm really bad at being consistent with uploading stuff, but I always make sure that the content I upload is worth watching. I am going to get some thoughts down on cloud streaming and whether or not I think it's a good move for Xbox, what I think they should do differently, and where I think they should improve. That's going to be the next video that I work on. I haven't started writing it yet because I only started playing with the Fire Stick this week, but I'm going to plan to do that. I'm not going to give you a timeline because I'm notoriously bad for hitting them. But yeah, keep an eye out for that, and yeah, go and check out my channel, subscribe to that, and enjoy the content that's there, because I'm really proud of it. So yeah, if you've enjoyed listening to me, go and check that out too. That's it. That's me.
Awesome. Gamzly.
Yes.
See ya. No, you can do an outro as well. What are you up to? Where can people find you?
Bye, Gamzly.
I knew you were gonna say that. You know, shit. I was ready. yeah, find me right here every Thursday on the Gaming Arcade YouTube channel.
It was almost as smooth as my intro.
Oh, wow. Okay. Every Thursday here on the Gaming Arcadia YouTube channel every Thursday for the Xbox Series podcast at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Forget all the other ones. You don't need it. They suck. And also on Boom's show on Double Barrel Gaming every Monday for lunch. And for everything else, follow me at Gamzly TKD on X or Twitter, whatever you want, for more details on what podcast I'm going to hop on next. I think next week I have one, and I don't know what it is, so I'm not going to plug it in. But yeah, come chill on Discord as well. There you go. Is that better? Was that better?
Not sure. I'm not sure it was. No, both these people are well worth following. They are worth listening to. If you're here, you probably already know that. So do take the time to follow their various links to accounts and things if you can. You can also find me here. I am streaming whenever I can on the Asa Games channel as well as here, depending on whether it's just me being an idiot or whether it's a kind of community event. But as best I can, I'll keep them both running and populated. I will also be on Discord, as are a whole load of other cool people that are worth getting involved with and talking to. Yeah, that's about it. So thanks for coming again, and we'll see you next time. I've forgotten what button to press.
All that shit.
All of that shit.
Make sure you
Okay.
like and subscribe.